Hello lovely friends, thank you so much for being here today. It's lovely to have you here for this reverse flower dip acrylic pour painting. Now this fluid art piece is an iridescent one and it's got blue and pink as the main colours, and this base paint is one that I have just created. My friend Alex says it looks like burger sauce and he's probably not wrong, but I was looking at a few colours that I've seen online recently and I really wanted to create like a golden orange. I mixed together some Pebeo iridescent gold and some permanent orange by Pebeo as well, and it came up with this beautiful colour. Can you see the glimmering? So I'm just pouring the base down now. This pillow is a lovely fluid consistency. I tend to do the fluid consistency in my reverse flower dips, very similar to Dutch pour. So I'm just covering the base of it now. I'm going to add a bit later because I've found that when I add just a nice amount on the base, I add some later on, the paint from the flower disperses. It seems to flow quite nicely. So at the moment I'm just teasing paint towards the edge. This is something that if you do at the end of your painting, it does make it look like there are some indentations and it looks slightly uneven, but when you do it at this stage it just teases the paint towards the edge and it's going to self-level, and then before I let the flower sort of flow out, if you like, I then touch it up again with a bit more paint. So this is quite a therapeutic part of the process and I really enjoy just playing with the canvas, and I can see there, because this is a used canvas or a reused one, the paint had dried on it and I hadn't sanded it down. I usually do if I'm going to use it again, but this one was just lying around, so it had a dark base already and you can just see it popping through a little bit. So just getting my trusty reverse dip plastic shaped bottom of a bottle, and I've put my first layer of paint, which is the lovely iridescent copper, followed by the lovely iridescent green blue. This is one of my favourite all-time colours. If you've seen some other videos, I use it an awful lot. It's just a wonderful accompaniment. It's very similar to the Psyche, or the Psyche rather, TLP pigment. Here I've got sky blue, and you can see how fluid that is. They're all the same fluidity, but the metallic paints, they seem to hold their body a bit more, even though when I did a drip test they drip at the same level. It's really curious, isn't it, how paint works? And that's a mixture of aquamarine blue and white, that blue on top. So as I'm watching the paint go down, can you see how the blues are playing and how as you're adding extra layers of paint, I'm really curious to see how that's going to intermingle with that goldy orange base. So I'm adding some white. There's quite a lot of white now in this layering, and I'm getting ready to pick up my plastic bottom and twist it. So can you see the gaps in between the mounds? I'm just going to pick it up really gently and just turn it so it fits just between those mounds, because I'd like to create another level of leaves. So I'm starting again with my copper, but of course because the paint's already running down, you've got a touch of the other colours dripping in to the flower. This time I'm using more white and more blues, and I'm going to add a special colour, one of my favourite colours. It's a TLP pigment and it's Show Pony. So again I've got my lovely iridescent green blue and just enjoying how it's levelling. And my idea is that I just want the innermost petal, part of the petal, to be pink in a little bit of the painting, and you'll see how the contrast comes out Just using a little bit more of my green blue. I think it's about blue and pink today. The green blue does look quite bluey. The hints in the name, and I just love how they mix together, and when you put white in between you do give you do disperse the colour and it makes it more pastel like. So I'm just spraying my piece of paper towel, and this is what I'm using today. I've been using serviettes and they're great. This paper towel is quite strong, so it works really well as well, and it fits on these size canvases really nicely. Serviettes I'm going to save for my bigger canvases. So now it's all nicely damp on both sides, just so it uncrinkles really. So when you've got the paper towel and it looks quite crinkled, you know it's okay when it flattens a little bit, the heaviness of that water spray. So a couple more touch-ups just there with some paint, and I'm just waiting for it just to drip down. And then I realised I wanted to add my show pony. I'd love to know if you've done a reverse flower dip, and this one is inspired by the wonderful originator who is Fiona Art, so please go and check her channel out and have a little look. My lovely friend Taslima from Taslima Maya Art, she did a beautiful one last week as well, so please go and give her some love, Taslima Maya Art, and subscribe to their channels. And another lady, this is in fact the lady that I first saw the reverse flower dip from, is Fiona from Fiona's Creative Canvas, and she adds the stamens in the middle, which I'm going to be doing today, and I've done before a couple of times, so can't wait to show you that. So now the show pony is down. Look at that glimmer, it's beautiful, isn't it? I'll add a little bit more there, so I really want that to come out, and I can tell already that it's going to be more poignant or more striking, if you like, in certain parts of this flower, because I put less in other parts. And it doesn't, that's the wonderful thing about art, it doesn't have to be even, you don't have to do exactly the same proportions. It's about layering, and it's about effect and what feels good, because each painting is just a part of ourselves, isn't it? And we do what feels right to us. So while I'm waiting for that paint to go down, I'm now using some of the rest of that pillow to spread it in the corners, so that when the plastic bit is taken off, it wouldn't be able to disperse nicely and there won't be any gaps. Oh, I'm really enjoying these colours today, and I'd love to know what you think about them. So I'm going to just leave you now with my little magical cocktail stick. I'm going to be using that to disperse the paint in a little way just before I add my paper towel. And before that, in my trusty English mustard jar, I've got my abstract bronze colour, which is going to make it very slightly darker in the middle. Looks almost black there, doesn't it? It's a nice little contrast. And I'm going to use my cocktail stick and just pull it through. And this is the point where you can just choose whether you pull it through from the bronze all the way through, or you pull it through from the bottom of the petal. So I'll just show you here what I'm going to do, putting a tiny bit of gold on top as well. So there's quite a big circle in the middle, isn't there? And this gets closed up once I use the paper towel. So I'm going from the bronze in this one and right through the pink. Beautiful colours. I'm really enjoying the blue inner colour in the petal, and now I'm just going through from the beginning of the petal and not going through the bronze. So that's the basis of my flower, and now I'm going to be placing my already dampened paper towel and just using my fingers very gently just so I can get the paint nicely even. And now pulling up the corners very gently, keeping it central to the centre of the flower, and then lifting it up. Look at how the colours are playing together. That's my favourite part of a reverse flower dip. Look at the pinks that have come through. So there's a lot of pink on 2 of the petals, there's a little bit of pink on 2 of them, and there's not much at all on the other 2, but just a faint hint of pink. So I'm now just using my blowtorch to get rid of any bubbles, and at the same time watching some really pretty cells coming up right on the edge of the pink and right on the edge of the blue. There's little cells just popping up, and there's no cell activator in this one, it's just all pure, just pouring medium and paint. Now for the stamens, I'm going to be using my white with my cocktail stick, and I'm going to put some really little dots of white, and because everyone knows what a cocktail stick is, or a toothpick in some countries, you can understand the size of them. So I'm just literally dipping it into my white, titanium white, and then just placing it on the flower. Really enjoying where I'm placing them today. Can you see how beautiful they look? And I thought white would be a nice colour today. Just then using the cocktail stick just to literally make that extension of a stamen. It feels really good, and it also then almost makes the flower look slightly 3D, and then you can see which way up the flower would look, if you like, from the photograph that a flower may have been taken from. I want to say thank you to Fiona from Fiona Art, Taslima from Taslima Maya Art, and Fiona from Fiona's Creative Canvas today. You've been an inspiration to me on the reverse flower dip, and I just love creating flowers. I love using different artists' inspiration and making it my own. You know, when you see someone doing something and then you do it yourself, there's always part of you that does it. And I just want to say the message today is, again, don't forget, art is a part of you. So here's a part of me today. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you've enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments below what you thought, what you think about the colour palette, any ideas on other palettes that you'd like. And there's me right at the end making some swirls with my cocktail stick. What I really wanted to do was just every other side of every other petal, I wanted to use the cocktail stick to create the almost lacerated edge and to bring up some of the pink and some of the blue through the flower petals. So I hope you've enjoyed this today. I've just really want to say how much I appreciate all of you, everyone who watches, everybody who comments and tells me what you think, and all the people that I learn and grow from and together with. So I hope you have a wonderful creative day, whatever you do. I appreciate you. Thank you for being here. I hope you have a good day, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye.